Distinguished colleagues, I'm happy to see all of you. I must remind you that this is already a traditional, 16th conference organized by the company Racurs, and I must tell you once again and introduce myself that I'm a CEO of the company Racurs. Please use headphones because the presentations will be made both in English and in Russian. These two languages are absolutely equal to each other. That's why the Russian speakers who prefers speaking English, you can do this too. And we're still waiting for our Indian colleagues. Hopefully they will arrive soon. You have heard about the cash crunch and the chaos in the country. It's a pity that this year we have less number of participants at the conference, but it can be explained by a tough financial situation both in Russia, and the most recent decision on the exchange of banknotes had a drastic effect on the number of participants from India who are trying to solve their financial problems. But still, I entertain hope that the participants will arrive in greater number. Traditionally, our conference has been called like this, but it's no longer tradition to speak about maps in the world, but mostly about new types of products such as digital reality instead of digital maps. And as far as the remote sensing is concerned, despite the fact that these sectors are still developing, they're becoming more conventional, and you heard the famous joke about the development of technologies. First people speak about what a marvel it is, how interesting it is, and then they say it's a common everyday thing. And now remote sensing and photogrammetry are becoming this mundane thing already. Still, I hope that this conference will hear about new things and new products, and in the course of these 3 days we'll have, I hope, interesting discussion, and we'll hear some new things for us. And I sincerely hope that it will be mutually beneficial for all of us. Again, I'm saying that I'm happy to see old friends here. Among our participants, there are people who participated in 10 plus conferences, and I must remind you that each conference is organized in different country. The last one was in Mexico. Before that we visited China. Now we're in India. I hope that we'll make new friends, new partners, and the main purpose of this conference is to establish new business contacts, and these business contacts would benefit our businesses and will fill us with joy. But let us cut to the chase. I would like to say that this conference is open, and I congratulate you with this. And a few introductory words about how this conference is to be organized, and then a few words about my company, because I'm not going to speak about my company anymore. Only I'll speak about the results of our projects and projects of our partners. So this conference is co-organized by two companies. First, the Russian company Racurs, and our partners from India, Oblique System. We have a tradition to talk about sponsors. This year it's only space companies, Digital Globe, CES company. These are our Korean colleagues and friends, and you'll hear a presentation made by vice president of that company about their activity. I must tell you that this company is also a dealer of our products in Korea. And Kazakh company Garish Sapari. This is a space agency from Kazakhstan, but unfortunately again we have a situation that by the very end of this conference they're having their own conference in Kazakhstan, so it's a bit an overlap, and we have co-sponsored each other, and nobody came here from Garish Sapari, and it's unlikely that we'll visit them because of this overlap. It happens. The conference is traditionally supported by the International Society for Photogrammetry and Remote Sensing, and I must tell you that this year in Czech Republic we had a regular congress of ISPRS Society, and our company participated. And for I think more than 20 years we have been regularly attending. Well, there is a term sustaining member of ISPRS, and we are, in other words, the partners who are supporting this organization. Our conference was also supported by the state corporation Roscosmos. This is the former federal space agency of Russia, the Cartographic Society of Russia, Roscosmos, and also media partner support. I must mention, and I'm glad to see here Dark Hausman, the editor of the main journal that we cooperate with for many years, for 20 years I think. We have been cooperating with that scientific journal. It's the most interesting and popular magazine in the field, I think. A few words about our company. We were established in 1993, and ever since then we were focusing on photogrammetry and continue to work on this. And maybe later on you will understand how it works. And the second company that is organizing this conference, Oblique System, you will hear their presentation about them as well. I mentioned sponsors, I mentioned the support. Here you will see all of them again. Media partners check. Many journals and magazines from Russia and abroad will also have a publication about this conference. The structure of participants. This year we have a fewer number of participants, as I mentioned in the beginning, but it's good to know that here at this conference we have in attendance a lot of CEOs of companies, who real decision makers. I'm always surprised to know that why we write directors and specialists in these pie charts, but usually CEOs of companies are also very good specialists. That is why I think we shouldn't divide the two. And the biggest sector present here would be commercial companies and state-owned companies. Now about the agenda. Here you can see the themes and sections and panels. We'll speak about cartography, sensors, about UAVs. A new theme is becoming a popularity. 3D modeling is becoming a fad nowadays, and we'll speak about photo mods. You see the moderators of different sessions mentioned here. I have an announcement to make for both the speakers and moderators to stick to time, although because of the problems with cash crunch in India, perhaps we'll have some gaps in the conference in our agenda as well. That is why we'll try to use those gaps for Q&As and discussions. Then, first day is mostly dedicated on aerial photography, photogrammetry, and main challenges. Second day is traditionally dedicated to space imagery, and here we'll hear the presentations from the main suppliers of space data and speak about the technologies to process the space data. And as it has been mentioned in the program, as you can see, at the end of our work and on Tuesday, we'll get the so-called Indian lessons. In other words, this is a fun way to learn about the Indian lifestyle. We'll know how yoga works and how to cook Indian cuisine, which is unprecedented. Third day we'll be focusing on master classes and business meetings. When I'm asked when we can discuss things with people, it will happen mostly on the third day and in the course of the whole conference too. And master classes will be arranged in two main rooms. One master class will be in Russian language for Russian speakers, and the second master class will be in the English language. And we expect also representatives of Indian companies to attend, who will have find time in their busy schedules to participate, although quite a number of people have signed in who wanted to participate only in the training of photomod, because photomod has become a system which is well known in India, and we'll have specialists for technical training. I must tell you also that I expect the Wednesday program to be very interesting. There would be roundtables for discussion. You can see the themes of those roundtables written there. All of these themes are very relevant and up to date, and the international exchange on these topics will help all of us better understand the current trends and technology paradigms, and will allow us to use them better. And finally, Thursday, we're looking forward to having a very interesting tour around the Indian sites, although still we're having problems with the Indian cash, because often we need to pay something with cash, and which is very hard to come by in India. Anyway, hopefully by Thursday this problem might resolve itself somehow and banks will finally open up. Here you can see the themes of the roundtables. Interestingly, to know that they will be moderated by such renowned specialists as Yuri Reisman from Israel, who is a well-known specialist on the space sensors, and Professor Grun. I know, Armin, how many years you have been working on photogrammetry endlessly, I think, and I can talk a lot about him. Like, he is also has been awarded Brock Medal, and as a moderator of that session, Armin will tell us a lot of interesting things about his views on the future of photogrammetry. Here you can see the people who have been organizing this conference. All of them are readily available to you. We'll make the presentations here. Our colleagues Alexei Smirnov and Dmitry Kochergin will be conducting master classes, and of course you might recognize Ekaterina Goryacheva. Whatever questions you have about Indian logistics, she's our traditional tour operator. She will help you with all of this. And as I mentioned, the simultaneous interpretation will be done by Vitaly and Nikolai. They are our traditional interpreters. We have worked with them for more than 10 years already. And again, even if during negotiations you would like to have to overcome the language barrier, you can approach them. Now a few words about Rakurs and Photomod. Rakurs, as I mentioned before, is an old company in the Russian market. We were established in 1993, and throughout all this time we have been focusing on digital photogrammetry, and our main product has always been Photomod. It is well known all over the world, and you will see it later. We also work on production. We have production capacities to do some industrial production projects. That is why would be glad to discuss such business opportunities with Russian and foreign partners. We also have close relationship with the suppliers of space data, and it gives me special pleasure to say that Digital Globe and CIS companies who supply Korean data are all our old long-standing partners.
And of course, we are closest friends with Roscosmos, and we do a lot of research as well, research and development in Russia, including with Roscosmos, with the Defense Department. I guess I should mention here that in Russia, Photomod is the primary photogrammetric system which is used by all major players, including the Ministry of Defense and Roscosmos subsidiaries. Here you can see the Photomod distribution map. It looks quite convincing. We continue to spread further, and the number of workstations around the world. And as far as geoinformation systems are concerned, we live in a very narrow space of photogrammetry. In other words, we are widely recognized in narrow circles of photogrammetrists. Now, our lineup. These are digital photogrammetric workstations that are capable of processing any data. They have dedicated systems for UAVs, and also we have a certain amount of free products downloadable from our website. Photomod Geo Calculator is a free version that allows you to calculate and recalculate, supporting all coordinates of the world. And it gives me pleasure to say that today we can announce that there is a special application, Photomod Geo Calculator, that you can download on your smartphone or Android supporting devices and gadgets like tablets. So these are the products that are indeed very popular. And for those engaged in photogrammetry, there is a lot of other stuff you can get from our site that satisfy your needs. What does Photomod does? It can process any kind of data from cameras, space imaging. We support practically all commercial imaging systems. We can do UAVs too, as far as aerial cameras are concerned. We work with ADS or K3 visual map cameras with the central projection. So any data could be loaded up into our system, including radar systems. We have a special product, Photomod Radar, one of few products globally that allows you to process radar data. Speaking of recent achievements, as far as frame projection cameras are concerned, we now support oblique imagery to get representations that we need. I welcome you once again, and I wish you successful and fruitful work. I'm trying to stick to the timetable. It's 9:30. This was my welcome speech. Now I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Balin Basu, Director of OPSO System, or representative of OPSO System, for a welcome speech on the Indian part. А где мьют есть отдельно? Доброе утро, дамы и господа. Меня зовут Балин Басу, я представляю компанию OPSO System. Я приветствую каждого из вас лично в город любви Агру. Как вы все уже знаете, так-то лучше. Как вы все уже знаете, вы столкнулись с определенными трудностями, связанными с финансовой реформой. Но это дело временное. Я надеюсь и рассчитываю, что в ближайшие 2-3 дня у нас будет много технических дискуссий. Сейчас я намеревался засвидетельствовать вам свое почтение и пригласить, поприветствовать вас еще раз в Индию. И это касается всех представителей. Желаю вам приятного пребывания в Индии. В последние несколько дней погода была тяжеловатой, но в принципе время подобрано идеально для проведения конференции и посещения Индии. Что касается системы OPSO, то мы выступим с отдельной презентацией на тему взаимодействия с ракурсом. Мы рассмотрим индийский рынок и рыночные требования к техническим решениям, которые помогают нам решать наши проблемные вопросы. Существуют долгосрочные партнерские отношения между Россией и Индией. Мы реализуем совместные проекты, коммерчески успешные проекты. Еще раз позвольте поприветствовать каждого из вас в Индию, и я надеюсь, что в ближайшие несколько дней у нас будет плодотворнейшая работа. Большое спасибо еще раз. Спасибо, господин Балин. Perfect, dude. Now I would like to invite a representative of Roscosmos, Valery Zaichko. As I mentioned earlier, it is a tradition with Roscosmos to support us, and Valery is probably the most well-known celebrity on the Russian remote sensing market. He happens to be present everywhere, and he is the only one covering and overseeing remote sensing in the country. Good morning, dear friends and esteemed colleagues. It gives me a special pleasure and privilege to be in India and to open this conference. On behalf of the entire Roscosmos State Corporation, I welcome you all. Now you know that we are a state corporation, but with the name of the change, nothing has changed for international partners. So on behalf of state corporations management, I would like to wish successful work to this conference. I have a couple of words that I would like to direct to our Indian colleagues. Last year we signed a memorandum of cooperation in the field of space cooperation, and a supplement to it, we intend to share data from our satellite and from Indian satellite. So this is going to be a successful cooperation, I'm sure. We would like to pass best regards to Mr. Kuran Kumar. We sent a personal letter to him in supporting this conference. And as a last note, cooperation of Russian and Indian space industries and sectors will continue under the BRICS format. Recently, a protocol has been signed between BRICS member states, space agencies. We're planning to put together an orbital constellation of 5 countries, which will serve all 5 countries. And I'm sure this will be another contribution into our cooperation development. Once again, all the best to each and every one of you. Good luck and every success. Thank you, Valery. Unfortunately, it's great that Roscosmos sent a letter to space industry. Maybe you should have sent a letter to the government of India asking them to postpone the demonetization reform. I mean, if we could have waited for a couple of days when this conference is over, then you could have gone ahead and changed the money. So now let's start the presentations, and first speaker on the list is Mr. Dirk Harsma.